right, man. The good word on the street is the Chicago Bears are leaning towards trading the #1 overall pick, one of the worst kept secrets out there. Let's talk about it. Check out the NFC North playlist, Detroit Lions Talk playlist too. And yeah, they talking about, moving that #1 pick. I think we all figured that they would move the #1 pick. They could have postured like they was going, trade Justin Fields and keep the pick, but then again, they would have had to take people's phone calls. They would have wasted people's time in the league just trying to keep up a smoke screen. So I don't think that was pretty smart. That would have been the smartest thing to do. Then, you had Justin Fields that, probably would have felt some type of way. You would have to let him know that we ain't really trying to trade you. He tell his agent got some buddies in the league. So they would have leaked it out. So it probably wouldn't have worked. And of course, it's depend on how far they looking to fall down is the question. You hear, I think the Raiders, Panthers, Colts, and Texans are looking to, they're looking to take a quarterback in the draft and not another veteran. So, I mean, I don't know what that said for Aaron Rodgers. The Colts and the Raiders was two possibilities. Maybe looking more at the Jets. So, so Derek Carr, maybe not the Colts, but so if you got the Raiders, Panthers, I think it was the Raiders, Panthers, Colts, Texans, that's 4 teams. Houston is probably guaranteed to get a quarterback, and it depends on how far Chicago want to fall back, because it's Chicago #1, Houston #2, is it Arizona 3, Seattle I think Colts might be 4, Seattle might be 5, and we 6. Because Seattle got Denver picked. So, Seattle right now have yet to get a deal or trade or get a deal going with Geno or tag him just yet. They got into the 7th. They still could reach a deal with him. Then, but so I don't know how far they really want to fall down. That's the question, because Houston could take a quarterback. Arizona probably gonna take Will Anderson. Then you get to 4. I said, was it the Colts or the Seahawks? I think it's the Colts possibly. They gonna probably take a quarterback. The Seahawks, they could take a quarterback, but they gonna probably take Jalen Carter. So they can't move back too far and still expect to get Will Anderson and Jalen Carter or Tyree Wilson. So that's the crazy thing about it. I don't think they're in a great position if they're looking at Anderson or Carter. And Arizona ain't looking for a quarterback. So really, Seattle, trading down with Seattle, you had to get in front of Detroit. But the question is with Seattle, Arizona. So yeah, you trading down with Seattle will probably guarantee you Anderson or Carter, or at least Tyree Wilson. So I say they can't go no further than Seattle. Now, if they looking at other prospects, they just looking at the deal and the accumulation of picks, then I'd be like, I would probably say, they just looking at a deal. They just trying to get picks and get talent. I think they kind of at that point where they just need picks. They just need talent. They don't need one star talent. They just need multiple star talent. So, so that's the crazy thing about it. I think they're in a position where they're looking for talent. I think they're looking for talent and a whole bunch of it. So, like I said, the Raiders would be the ideal team to move back with. Carolina might be a team to move back with. I think I got 2 second-round picks, so you will have to go to 9, 2 seconds, and then move up. So, I honestly don't know. I mean, we're talking about Detroit moving up with Arizona. It cost you, 6 and 2 seconds, or 6 in a second, or something like that. It's gonna be interesting, because the one thing about it is you really don't want to be paying interior linemen a lot of money off the free agent list, because they took a lot of wear and tear. You don't know when they're gonna fall off. So the Rams kind of fucked us by not losing a few more games, the ones they should have lost, to kind of move us up a little bit. But I think Arizona, moving over to Arizona, that might be something that interests them, or moving back with Carolina. I mean, what about moving up with Chicago? I mean, to go #1, I mean, that'd be a far-fetched thing. We have the most to offer. That's the crazy thing about it. We can give them their best deal, and then it'll probably be like the Raiders or something like that if you was talking about a plethora of picks. But, you know, like I said before, you ain't moving to number one to make Will Anderson the number one pick. You ain't moving to number one for a defensive lineman to make Jalen Carter the number one pick. If you going up to number one, it's usually it's usually a quarterback. So I don't really see them doing that. You know, unless the Chicago Bears just wanted 6-17 in the second. But then again, I think you could sit there at number 6 and move back and still end up with guys that you really want. So at the end of the day, you like Jalen Carter. He fit what we need to do. But then again, Tyree Wilson is a great cancellation prize. He may go in that top 5 range too. I think Arizona could be open to trade back and somebody could jump. So to be honest, when you look at the whole spectrum of things, Chicago, if I'm Chicago, you probably best, if you really hell bent on getting Carter or Will Anderson, you probably best stand there taking them, to be honest. Because if you move back, you would have to move back with Arizona. You would have to move back with Seattle or Arizona. That'd be them the only 2 teams that you can guarantee them. You know what I'm saying? And if you move back with the Raiders, I think they like 9 or 8 or something like that. So it got to be a laundry list of guys they really like in Chicago to move back with the Raiders. And if we stay at 6, well, let's think about it. Let's say somebody move up with Arizona. Let's say somebody move up with Chicago for a quarterback. Somebody move up with Arizona for a quarterback. Let's say, I don't know, the Raiders move up for a quarterback. That's the more likely team. Let's say number 3, Carolina move up for a quarterback. So to have first 3 picks to be a quarterback. Then you'll probably be Stroud, Young, Levis, and then Indianapolis probably get the itch in that 4 for a quarterback. They'll probably go ahead and take Richardson. Somebody's going to reach for Richardson, trust me. There's his odds have declined to go number. He got a great boost to go number 1 in the draft. So went from like 5,200 to 950 as of last week. And then 5 at least Seattle, and Seattle will probably take Carter or Will Anderson. So it's a situation if Detroit stay at 6 where they can still end up with a really good quarter with Anderson or Anderson or Jalen Carter, or at least Tyree Wilson. So I could see it, but I don't really see us moving up to number 1 with Chicago. I don't see that, but that's just my personal opinion. But hey, let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Increase your chance to get notifications. We go live or drop a video. Financially, you want to support the channel. Cash App, $ CJ Good 313. Venmo CJ Good 313. PayPal description. Check out the NFC North Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Peace.